Here in America, we have a problem. And I have to be careful with how I word this because of YouTube. But let's just say that we have a problem with crazy things happening in our schools. Sometimes we have students that snap and go on rampages. Other times, we have crazy sick people that purposely target schools so they can carry out evil, crazy acts. We've all seen these stories. It happens way too much in America. And for years, people have been trying to come up with solutions for this problem. And when I was a kid, for example, the solution that they came up with is that all the kids in my school district had to wear see-through book bags. And I remember when they made that rule, I was devastated because I had just gotten a fancy new Dragon Ball Z backpack. And I just knew I was going to be the ish walking in school. I knew I was going to be the coolest kid with the coolest backpack. And bam, they shot me down. They gave me childhood trauma because I and every other kid had to start wearing the see-through plastic, hot, sweaty, sticky, JanSport type book bags. Man, it sucked. But that was the solution they came up with to nip this problem in the bud when I was a kid. And let's just say that it didn't work. The problem only got worse. Now, of course, some schools had metal detectors. And over the years, they came up with different solutions. For example, a lot of schools now have these new locks on their doors so no one can get in from the outside. Of course, people have been suggesting that teachers need to arm themselves and learn how to protect their students. I've seen one thing, some new invention that they're attaching to the ceiling of some classrooms where a teacher can quickly pull it down and it kind of turns their classroom into like a bulletproof bomb shelter. Now that's really cool, but I don't think that we can put that in every classroom across America. So I don't know if that's a good solution, but over the years, the point is they've been trying to figure out ways to help fix this problem. Nothing has really worked. Well, now they've come up with a new solution. The craziest solution yet. This solution honestly freaks me out, but it's something that's going to be happening in schools this upcoming school year. Now, I don't know if this will affect schools near you, but I know some schools in Florida are going to start having this. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but schools are going to start having attack drones on site. Attack drones that will be launched to stop crazy people if they come into a school trying to hurt someone. Now, I'm not exactly sure how this is supposed to work. Are they going to have a special room for these drones? From what I've seen, there's like an attachment that goes on the wall, and in case of an emergency, this thing just opens up and these attack drones fly out, right? And somewhere across America, there's a guy with a headset on in an office that is going to be piloting these attack drones. I know this sounds wild, but the future is now, folks. This isn't something that we're looking at possibly happening somewhere down the line. Schools are going to start having this school year. Like I said, I'm not sure where, I'm not sure how many schools are going to have this year and where it's going to be, but I know it's going to be in some places in Florida. I think Texas as well. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. For one, of course, we want to keep kids safe. I get it. But I'm not really enthusiastic about this direction that we're heading in with like robots, drones, and AI and virtual reality. I really think that we're headed into a dangerous direction. And like someone my age, I grew up watching movies that would warn me about where we're headed right now. Have you ever seen The Terminator? You know what I mean? So like right now, the plan is that people will be piloting these drones, right? But in the future, AI will be piloting these drones. And what could go wrong with a bunch of AI-controlled drones in our schools with our kids? Mind you, these are attack drones with weapons attached, folks. So, I mean, this is like some RoboCop type stuff that we're looking at. Before I go on even more of a rant, though, because I have a lot of thoughts about this, I want you to see what I'm talking about for yourself. I'm about to roll a couple of news clips for you. But before I do that, if you're here, if you enjoy the videos, please consider supporting the channel in one of these free, quick, and easy ways. You could hit that like button. You could drop a comment. You could share the video on social media. That helps a lot. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Now, if you want to take your support to the next level, you could always donate via Cash App or Super Thanks. Always greatly appreciated. With that being said, let's take a look at these attack drones, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
The Texas-based company is hoping drone technology can help stop school shootings or at least help law enforcement respond more quickly. Bree Buckley is at a Florida high school where they are now being deployed ahead of the new school year.
They're small, but fast. And Texas-based company Campus Guardian Angel hopes they can help save lives if there's a school shooting.
Yeah, so in a school shooting, most of the death happens in the first 120 seconds. So it's really about how quickly can you get there to engage the shooter before they've had the chance to kill a whole bunch of children, even if it's a false alarm.
Founder and CEO Justin Marston says the drones would stay in a box like this in the school at all times. Once someone uses the app to sound the silent alarm when there's a threat, their drone pilots would deploy the drones in seconds to locate and stop the shooter.
If somebody comes into the school with a gun, our pilots from our central op center can immediately start flying them, and our goal is to respond in 5 seconds, be on them in 15 seconds, and then take out that shooter in 60 seconds. In
a demonstration at Academy Preparatory High School in South Miami-Dade, the company showed us how the drones can fire powder pellets and even knock a suspect over, also showing us how hard they are to shoot down.
School safety used to be a fire drill, fire alarm, tornado drill once a year. It's now active shooter drills, hostage drills, things of that nature. It's turned into traumatizing events for students and parents.
Marston says Governor DeSantis approved $557,000 in the state's 2025-2026 budget for pilot programs at 3 school districts in the state. He says it costs about $1,000 a month for a school with roughly 500 students. No word yet on which districts will be selected. He says that will be up to the Florida Department of Education, that says Miami-Dade schools have shown interest.
We send our kids to school to be safe. I think this is another step in the right direction to ensure the safety of our kids.
Well, right now, the company says it's in the process of going into 4 school districts and 1 university in Texas. Administration here at Academy Prep says they're looking into bringing in the technology as well.
Safety technology is potentially coming to schools in the metro area. It uses drones to locate school shooters in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, pretty high tech today. Campus Guardian Angel showed us how it would work in an active shooter situation. Fox 31's Gabby Easterwood has the story from Regis Jesuit High School where the demonstration happened today.
Well, this was the first time they had a demonstration in Colorado, and they walked us through how the drones would respond in an emergency situation. They say it would only cost a few dollars for every student at a school for what they call life-saving technology.
Drones in the air, inside, and outside. Regis Jesuit High School today, demonstrating what could be a life-saving take on drone operations.
What we're showing here today is drones that are used in school safety. They have less lethal effects on them, and our goal is to stop kids being killed through gun violence in schools.
Campus Guardian Angel says these drones would be stationed in schools on standby, ready to fly in case of emergency. A layer of safety without a human life attached to it.
School safety is something that we're thinking about 24/7, and what they've come up with here is really an amazing technology.
Once first responders arrive on scene, the drones are able to clear a room before officers go in. Speakers on the drone also allow remote operators with Campus Guardian to speak with those responders directly on scene. And non-lethal effects like pepper ball attached to incapacitate the attacker.
We don't think that a police officer should have to unnecessarily risk their life by running in a room with a lunatic with a gun and hoping to try and shoot them first. So, we go in first, they can open the doors for us, we share situational awareness with them.
Campus Guardian hopes their drones never see action. But no, this added layer is something they feel could save lives and give peace of mind.
I'm just really grateful that there are people thinking particularly about the safety of students in schools and coming up with ways that really decrease the chances that students and first responders would get hurt.
We believe every child deserves to have an Air Force that's there to help protect their life if the worst happens.
Regis president says they're still learning about the technology before they make the decision on implementing it. Campus Guardian also says they're in conversations with other school districts in the metro area.
When I see this, on one hand, I'm like, man, this is badass. And as I was saying earlier, if this is what we need to protect kids in school, then yeah, cool. But on the other hand, I'm running through all of the scenarios about what could go wrong here. Let's say that one of these drone operators has some sort of a mental breakdown. Does he go to work one day and just start wiping out kids with his attack drones? What happens if these drones are hacked by a foreign government or an enemy or some crazy computer hacker? And next thing you know, you got wild attack drones attacking everyone at schools across America. And then I take it to the next level. Because humans make mistakes, something's going to go wrong here, and then the argument will be made that we don't need human pilots for these drones. AI is much more effective. We can't have, a pilot for every drone for every school in America. Mind you, these schools are all going to have multiple drones. We got to have, AI take control. AI doesn't make mistakes. They're more precise, blah, 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 blah. That's the argument that will be made very quickly. And that same argument is going to be made for basically every job that you could think of. AI is coming, folks. It's not coming 20, 30 years from now. It's coming right now. All right? But anyways, the argument will quickly be made. It will only take a couple of years before these drones are no longer piloted by humans. They're going to be piloted by computer algorithms, AI, what have you. Now, what could go wrong there? What could go wrong there? We already have our warnings about what could go wrong. Let's say the AI decides that all across America, we're going to fly out our attack drones and just go willy-nilly on these kids. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but that's the type of stuff that we have to start talking about. These are the discussions that need to be had, and they sound far out there. They sound crazy, but that's because so many people are still stuck in the past. They haven't caught up with the present yet. And I get it. I understand. Technology is just moving too fast. But when I sit here and I make these videos warning people, often people look at me like I'm a conspiracy theorist. What is this guy talking about? No, here we are. In a couple of weeks, our kids will be going to school with attack drones in their school. These are the conversations that we need to start having now, because we don't want to have these conversations later when it's too late. So when I look at this, it's like on one hand, yeah, maybe this will protect kids, but I think this is more bad than good, because it shows you the direction that we're headed in as a whole. And when AI starts taking over more and more jobs, and they implement more of like robotics and stuff like that, what do you think they're going to do first? The first thing they're going to do is they're going to replace dangerous jobs with robots and AI and what have you, because they have a logical explanation for that. Why would we send this guy in here to fight a fire when we can send our robot AI in here to fight the fire? And why send a police officer into the line of duty when we can send our robot police officer into the line of duty? This is stuff that is not too far away. And if you look at law enforcement, they already got the robot dogs. In places like New York, they already got robots with a bunch of cameras on them riding around the streets so they could record people doing crazy stuff. They already got the drones flying around. So yeah, we're already at that point, folks. We're already at that point. And, you know, people have problems with law enforcement now. Think about the problems you may have with law enforcement when you're not dealing with a human being, okay? I don't think it's good to put this type of power in the possession of something, not someone, but something that is incapable of processing human emotions, folks. You know, a human being may think twice before putting a cap in your ass. An AI algorithmic robot ain't gonna think twice. You know what I mean? They aren't going to show any pity or compassion. So yeah, I'm really concerned about this. Not just because of the schools, but because what this means next. The direction that we're headed in is not a good direction. We're headed in a very dangerous direction. We already know that. Everyone knows that. Even the people who are developing these AIs and stuff, they'll tell you that it's dangerous, but their excuse is, if I don't do it, someone else will. So we've reached a point where the can of worms is open, and we're going to not slowly, but quickly move into this crazy, interesting direction, and who knows what's going to happen next. But I know what's going to be happening in a couple of weeks. Kids are going to be going to school, you know, and as they go to their locker and stuff, they're going to be walking past the attack drone launch pads that are right there next to the water fountain. So, yeah, very interesting times indeed. You guys let me know what you think about this, though, down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.